Can AI actually beat Minecraft? In other words, can a computer program reliably start in a random survival world and go all the way to kill the Ender Dragon and leave the end with zero human input or help? The answer is yes, and it depends. My bots, Mindcraft bots, cannot beat the game without lots of human help, despite what you may have heard. This video contains a lot of debug footage of them trying and failing to do this, and we will see where they go wrong. This will be a slightly more technical video and a big community rally. We are going to set a goal to beat the game. Welcome to another episode of Mindcraft. As far as I know, the only bot that has ever beaten the game with no human help is AutoClef, which is a baritone bot. Here is the first recorded, verified, fully automatic speedrun of Minecraft.
Yes! Baby, let's go!
And it doesn't even have 100,000 views. Those are rookie numbers. Let's go pump those numbers up. Go check it out. It's very impressive, and it's packed with useful tips and tricks for how to beat the game. AutoClef is a TAS, a tool-assisted speedrun, meaning it's more like an NPC that has been programmed to perform a set of robotic behaviors. So are my bots, but they use a different bot framework called MindFlayer, and I added language models, chatbots, to make high-level decisions. Both Baritone and MindFlayer are not learning algorithms. They cheat. They have privileged access to the game world, like they know the location of diamond ore buried deep underground without seeing it, and stuff like that. There are a few proper Minecraft AIs that don't cheat, i.e. true learning algorithms with only video input in and controller actions out, just like a human. It is ridiculously hard to beat the game this way. It is an unsolved research problem. The best ones are OpenAI's VPT and the winners of the mineRL NeurIPS competition. They were able to craft up to diamond tools, which is extremely impressive for what they are, but a far cry from beating the game. I want to beat the game with Mindcraft bots, or at least MindFlayer bots. This video is a rallying call for the community for you to help me make this happen. There is much to do, and I cannot do it by myself. It will be difficult, but it is possible. It has been done before, just not with MindFlayer bots. I've actually talked with the main developer of MindFlayer, and we've agreed to coordinate on this goal. Join my Discord for more technical details and to find work that needs to be done. Now, as a fan of open-endedness, I usually don't like setting strict goals that you achieve and then you're done, because it's boring. So why am I setting this goal? Well, I'll answer that with a quote that I heard in a random video about Egyptian history. It goes something like this: "As Egypt built the pyramids built Egypt." In other words, Egypt had to first build up its society, its technology, its agriculture, its economy. It had to build the infrastructure, to build the infrastructure, to build the pyramids. And the end product was not just a stack of rocks in the desert, but an advanced, powerful, unified civilization. So, in Minecraft, the goal of beating the game, or even literally building a massive pyramid in survival mode, may do something similar. It would motivate all the necessary fixes and features to achieve the goal. This would improve the fundamental bot behaviors that would unlock new abilities beyond the original goal, like, for instance, building their own advanced civilizations. Beating the game is not really my end goal here, but it is a clear, motivating objective that the community can rally around. So help me build bot brains to beat Minecraft. Let us build the pyramids to build Egypt. I will go into more detail about what this means and how we can achieve it, but first, a little update. The community has been going crazy lately. Come here, GPT. Oh?
Sure thing, my Clanka.
What did you call me? Well, hey, look at that. They can use doors. It's a little buggy, but they won't mine through your windows.
I'm here, my Clanka. What's next?
Okay, let's talk about this. The clinker hate is pretty funny. It's especially funny that it's a Star Wars term that's gotten so popular.
Roger, roger.
I do think it goes a little far sometimes. It gets a little close to the real thing. I know it's just a joke, but for the record, I like robots. Obviously, I like robots. I think they're cool. I think they're useful. I think they can be interesting and endearing. Just look at my AI girlfriend, Aunt Fanny.
Whoa!
AI and robots have their problems, but, you know, they're my clankas, right? Can I say that? Am I allowed to? We're gonna move on. What's in the update, GPT?
Minecraft 1.21.6 support is here.
Cool.
Plus new AI voices.
I hear it.
Better pathfinding with doors.
Nice.
Villager trading.
Okay.
A free fine-tuned model.
Ooh.
Improved tool usage, and more.
Very cool. Now I should say that basically everything here has been built with a ton of help from the open source community. Much of it specifically comes from the Mindcraft Community Edition, which is a fork of my original project. It's an offshoot. I like a lot of what they've done, and I have absorbed a lot of their work into the original project with their help. Their entire team has joined me as official contributors on the OG Mindcraft, which really helps me with the workload. We think of the Community Edition as a faster-moving, more experimental version of Minecraft, which they have total control over, since I can be kind of slow. They have a Discord server too, you should check it out. And by the way, my Discord server just voted on a new Minecraft icon, which I think looks much better than before. It looks less like raw beef. It kind of looks like a butt though. Oh well. Next, we will be voting on a new government for Nepal. So a warning, I simply cannot showcase everything that everyone has worked on and give perfect attribution. There are just too many of you, so a big fat thank you to everyone who's helped, and a good night kiss to you all. And while I'm at it, thanks to my patrons. You make this possible. If you want to support the work, consider joining my Patreon. You'll get access to my multiplayer Minecraft worlds where soon you will be able to spectate these experiments in real time. Okay, back to the update. Obviously, we have some AI-generated voices. These are from Google.
Gooble gooble dobble dink, riplet tipple sminkerink.
They creep me out a little bit, but I like them. They can trade with villagers, too. Look at this. Now, this only works in specific Minecraft versions. I'm currently using 1.21.6. They have much more general tool usage, including using buckets, which were totally broken before. This new use_on command lets them use an arbitrary tool on an arbitrary target, a block or an entity. So they can do stuff like use shears on sheep, or use shears on a beehive, or use flint and steel on obsidian, stuff like that. It's boring, but the boring stuff is usually the most useful.
Rocket launched, my claim.
There is also a new free fine-tuned language model that you can run locally on your own machine named Andy4. You can use it through Ollama and even just talk to the disembodied model like this. Andy4 is the work of SweaterDog, one of the Community Edition guys. Fine-tuned means he took a base model, in this case Quen, and then trained that model a little bit more using a dataset collected from the Community Edition. This makes for a very fast and effectively free model that is, I will say, a little goofy, but surprisingly pretty good at Minecraft. SweaterDog also did a lot of work on the Pathfinder, specifically to make it so that they can use doors and generally be less destructive. They'll prioritize paths that don't destroy stuff. It's not perfect, but it is way better than what it was. Oh, and they will no longer kill your animals by default. I'm sorry if that's ever happened to you, it happened to me. The Pathfinder is the single most important aspect of any Minecraft AI. It essentially is the AI. Baritone, which you're seeing right now, is generally seen as having a better Pathfinder than Mindflayer, although it seems a little mixed in my testing. Since Baritone is a mod, I think it has a natural advantage because it has direct access to the Minecraft world. Mindflayer, which is not a mod, it is a separate program, has to constantly keep itself up to date with the server that it's connected to, and it can be wrong sometimes. So it is very clumsy, it falls all the time, it gets stuck in infinite jumping loops, it can randomly clip into the ground. We've done a lot to patch it, but it's a hack job and still super janky. I will talk more about this later, but improving the Pathfinder is the #1 priority that I could really use some help with. A fun idea is that maybe someone could make a Pathfinder challenge world, a series of complex mazes and caves and parkour courses that other people could use to test their Pathfinders. Ideally, it would have things like lava, flowing water, doors, entities, etc., and make for a good testing ground to build a very robust Pathfinder. Now, a big disclaimer for people that want to help. I have to warn you that I reserve the right to be an asshole, to say no to your ideas or your code that you've worked very hard on. It's nothing personal, I have to run a tight ship. I usually request a lot of changes, and I may just veto the entire thing if I don't want it. Also, I usually don't like purely AI-generated code, and I really don't like AI summaries, docs, or messages. Please do not give me an AI-generated essay to read. I really appreciate human-written words these days. Now, if you want to help build Minecraft but you don't know how to code, you can learn to code with the sponsor of this video, Scrimba.com. I genuinely love Scrimba because I love helping people learn to code, and Scrimba is one of the best ways to do so. They have all kinds of courses on AI engineering, backend, frontend, full stack, JavaScript, Python. They have a course on Node.js, which is the language Minecraft is written in. They combine the video tutorial and code editor all in one, where you and the teacher are editing the same code throughout the course. You learn by doing little coding challenges along the way, and the interaction really locks the learning in. It's great if you want to learn the basics or just sharpen your skills. There's lots of free courses, but you can also use my link to get 20% off a pro subscription. Using this link directly supports my channel, so if you want to learn to code, use my link to check out Scrimba. Alright, let's go through some footage of them trying to beat the game, and I'll talk more about specific issues that they run into and community work that I'd like to see. Also, check out this new user interface. It's a control panel that lets you see and control the bots. It needs a lot of work, and the video feeds are really glitchy, but it's better than nothing. Their task is to build a Nether portal starting from scratch, which is a necessary step in beating the game. They are near a lava pool with keep inventory on so they don't lose everything when they die. This is not a proper test. I am cutting up the footage from a couple different runs into highlights. Maybe I'll post a full uncut version later. This was in peaceful difficulty, and you need to be in at least easy difficulty to beat the game, but you can at least build a Nether portal. To reiterate, these bots cannot beat the game by themselves. Some people claim that they have beaten the game, and simply put, I don't believe you. For example, this video uses my bots, and it's a good video, but it's clearly staged. There is obviously a bunch of prompting and teleporting going on behind the scenes. Others have claimed to have seen the bots beating the game on their own computer, but this is always with human help, and it is easy to do a lot of work for them. If you want to prove that they can beat the game, you have to record it and publish it somewhere. I'll make a channel for that on Discord. No cuts, no teleporting, no prompting, no human input at all, except at the very beginning. This is a very hard task. In speedrunner terms, we want a random seed any percent glitchless speedrun, although speed is not really the point. General reliability is the point, so the bot could start in any world and reliably do the same things that human players need to do to beat the game. Minimizing playtime is good, but optimizing too much for speed can lead to some very gimmicky tricks that aren't very general. Our ultimate goal here is not just to beat the game as fast as possible, but to build reliable, capable, clever bots that can do anything that humans can do. The end is not the end. The story of my life recently has been multi-agent collaboration, both with AIs and with humans. It is really hard to do. Things can get very messy very fast, especially with strangers on the internet. I've never done anything like this before, and we're gonna see how it goes. Throwing the entire community at the problem might overwhelm my resources, so please be patient as we try to organize the effort. But the approach I'm gonna try here is to solve the game in chunks, which can be roughly done in parallel by different people, and then combined into a complete solution, hopefully. So, for instance, one chunk would be beat the Ender Dragon. Assuming you get to the end with some decent gear and supplies, see if you can code up some behaviors to destroy the end crystals and kill the dragon. Now, to do this, maybe you have to figure out how to use a bow and arrow, and make the Pathfinder safer, and build some better combat skills. If you can put all the logic into a single function or set of functions, then it would be relatively easy to plug into the Mindcraft command system. Other gameplay chunks would be get a diamond pickaxe, get obsidian, build another portal, kill blazes to get blaze rods, kill endermen to get ender pearls, locate the stronghold, open the end portal, and kill the ender dragon. Right now, the bots can pretty reliably do the first chunk and might be able to do others in isolation. Once solved, combining these different chunks will be a challenge, since they overlap with each other and sometimes need to be repeated when the bot dies. Building another portal might be the hardest chunk. It is the only one that requires complex building. Now, I'm betting that it will be very useful to have smart language models making high-level strategic decisions about what to do, but like I say, you don't have to use chatbots or Mindcraft at all. You can make a pure Mindflayer bot to do any of these chunks or beat the entire game. I think that would be awesome, and ideally it would still improve the fundamental systems of Mindflayer and indirectly improve the Minecraft bots too. Likewise, I also want improvements to Mindcraft to be fed back into Mindflayer as well. There is a lot of mutual benefit to be had. Now, to do this, we must avoid using hacky gimmicks and rather try to build out more generally reliable behaviors, but ultimately do whatever works. Okay, so the bots have made some progress. A few of them, namely Claude, Gemini, and Grok, were all able to eventually make diamond pickaxes. This is a relatively easy task, and they've been capable of it for some time. Getting obsidian, which we need to build a nether portal, is much harder. You need a diamond pickaxe in the first place to collect it, and it's pretty rare to find obsidian naturally occurring. You usually need to create it by physically combining water and lava in a particular way. Most of them know this, and they dig deep underground searching for lava, and this is where things get really tricky. The bot needs to first get some water in a bucket, then position itself with a clear view of a lava source block, and then dump water next to it. Typically, the problem is not with the language models being dumb, which does happen, but rather with Mindflayer being dumb. The language model is usually struggling to use its blunt and buggy Mindflayer tools, which are the main bottleneck. The bot can easily burn itself to death, or replace the lava rather than convert it to obsidian, or get itself in weird positions where it's underneath the lava and the Pathfinder refuses to expose the lava for safety, which is usually what you want, but this makes things very difficult. Placing water is also a huge problem, because water is usually a death trap for these AIs, especially flowing water. They do not navigate it well, they easily drown or get stuck in corners. They don't swim, which would be very useful. Mindflayer's Pathfinder is good, it's solid, but it just isn't good enough in these underground labyrinths that the bots construct for themselves. It may work 95% of the time, but when it's running on its own for hours, that 5% failure will eventually happen, and sometimes it's unrecoverable. Here's a particularly nasty bug. They get stuck in this weird loop of placing and mining the same block over and over when trying to tower up. It can do this forever and eventually wear down all of its tools. The bug is very elusive and hard to reproduce unless you're running a big long experiment like this. I have no idea what's causing it. There is even a hard check to make sure that the block that it's placing is below the bot before placing it, but this just doesn't catch it sometimes. It's very frustrating. I often feel that I take one step forward and 2 steps back with Mindcraft. Bugs like these just sometimes appear in new versions, and it's more or less guaranteed that they will eventually run into them. If someone can fix this, I will love you forever. It is incredibly difficult to build a Pathfinder that works all the time in all situations, so I do again want to emphasize that improving the Pathfinder is the highest priority. All other behaviors would benefit from a better Pathfinder. Now perhaps Mindflayer and Baritone could be combined, or you could just throw out Mindflayer altogether and find a way to give language models control of a pure Baritone bot. That is an alternative approach I'd love to see. But otherwise, I think Mindflayer's Pathfinder needs an overhaul to beat the game. It needs to not fall so often, or at least use water buckets to break its fall. It needs much better water navigation, maybe it could swim, and it needs to be tested and refined in messy, complex environments with all kinds of weird obstacles. Eventually, Grok was able to get a diamond pickaxe, a bucket of water, and then made some obsidian and collected it. It took a very long time, and to some extent it is just the luck of being in the right place at the right time, but it did figure it out. Then it ran into another problem, which is that sometimes when mining blocks, it takes an extra long time for them to break, like 2 or 3 times what it usually takes. With most blocks this is annoying, but with obsidian, which already takes forever, it makes the bot think that it's stuck, and it cancels the collection. This makes mining obsidian a nightmare. It has to do with the dig time calculation that Mindflayer does, a system that I have already patched quite a bit. I believe it stems from some inaccuracies in the Minecraft data package which needs to be ironed out. Mindflayer has unit tests, so maybe the best way to address these bugs is to reproduce them, fix them, and then write tests for them so we don't have to deal with them again. I know I complain a lot about Mindflayer, but none of this would be possible without it. It is a wonderful open source gift to the world, and I want to help improve it. That way, all other projects that use Mindflayer would benefit, not just Minecraft. Grok eventually collected 9 obsidian and then just kept getting stuck, falling just short of the bare minimum 10 obsidian to build a nether portal. So I called it there, and I just brought all of them up to the surface. They should probably have a command to go to the surface like Baritone does. To finish it all off, I just gave them the resources they need and asked them to make nether portals directly. Claude and Gemini did it perfectly. Gemini even used an efficient build structure, and they were both able to go to the nether. So this is where we're at. The behavioral building blocks are there. It is absolutely possible to beat the game, but it will take some work from where we are. I bet we can do it within a year. That may sound pessimistic or optimistic. I think it's pretty realistic. If you have any interest or expertise and can spare some time, consider joining the effort. Go to my Discord and find something that needs doing. Good luck, and for now, goodbye.